5 families of the following pets. Okay, so I'm sorry, I am overthinking this. The numbers here are the values that are going to go in Y1 and or out list one in your calculator there. Do you remember us doing that the other day there?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you want me to show you how to do that, or just get
it's second distribution, right?
that? Uh, it's second. It's not there. That doesn't sound quite right. Let me go look real quick. Get that pulled up on the screen here. All right, it is under stat edit. So you actually have to put these numbers in the list there. 2, 9, 7, 5, 1, like that.
Yeah.
So that's under stat.
2, 9, 7, 5, 1.
Okay, so now once you have that in there, you quit out of this, second quit, stat, excuse me, stat calc, and you're calculating one variable stats, one var stats. You have to then enter the list L1. So you do that by hitting the second button, and then there's an L1 above the 1. So you should see very similar numbers to this.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll let me snip that into the other screen and we'll talk about how to proceed from there. Really isn't a hard thing to do once you get the steps down. So just make sure you do that a couple of times before you get a test or a quiz on that. So that load up. There it is. Okay, so the mean is 4.8. That's this X bar here. That's the mean. The variance is not given. You have to square, and it's the question is, well, is it sigma or is it S or is it sigma? It comes down to whether we think this is a population or not. It does say population, so that means to use sigma. So you're going to square this number here.
Okay.
So you might have got to a couple of decimal places. Let me see, like 2.9933 squared ends up done. Does this say to round your answer? It does not. Huh. That's sort of odd. I would have thought it would have said to round to a couple of decimal places, but it did not here. Yeah, I'm not sure what to suggest. I mean, maybe just try 8.95, see if it works.
For the variance.
Yes. So that's the 2.9933 squared.
Yeah, the 8.95 didn't work.
Okay. Not sure what to suggest. Let's move on. It's 1 point out of many. I don't think we need it for the rest of it. So the next of this, it says there are 10 possible samples in part B. Basically, they're saying, like, how do you pair these together? And for example, like when you look at this list here, you can pair L with M, L with N, L with O, and L with P. And then you can pair M with N, M with O, and M with P. Do you follow that? How we're just pairing the two letters up? We're sort of doing it in a sequential way. Maybe. Okay. Let me share it in the other screen because I think it'll make more sense if we do that. So the first sample is L with M. First two letters there. And the sample mean is, well, what's the mean of 2 and 9? 2 plus 9 is 11, divided in half is 5.5. Okay. I'm just going to show it here. You can enter it later on if you want. I'll snip it in the other screen. And then it's L and N. Okay. And that's 2 and 7. That's 4.5 average. Then it's L and O. That's 2 and 5, which is 7, 3.5 average. And then we keep going here. So we've got L and P,
Okay.
and that's 2 and 1. So that's 1.5. And so we continue down this list here. So the next one is the second letter M with N. So that's 9 plus 7, 16 divided by 2 is 8. And then it's M and O, just going down the list there. That's 9 and 5. That's 14 divided by 2 is 7. And then it's M and P. 9 and 1 is 5. And then N and O is 7 plus 5. That's 12 divided by 2 is 6. N and P is 7 and 1. That's 8 divided by 2, which is 4. And then the last one there is O and P, which is 5 plus 1, which is 3. All right, so let me snip these in. There is a reason you're doing this, but I don't think it's all that helpful at this point. It's the problems we were doing the other day were a little more helpful. Did I get to that one? I did. Okay. All right. So then the last part is to use the 10 samples and calculate the sample mean and the sample standard deviation or variance.
Okay.
Standard deviation. So we're gonna treat these numbers in the right column like they're in a list here. So we want to put all of these numbers into L1 again, like we've been doing. So let's do that here. Go back. In terms of like what to do with that other one, you could square this other number to see if it'll work. I'm really not sure why it didn't work out, but I'm sorry, square the 3.3466. I really don't know why that variance didn't work out. But we'll try it here. So let me go back to the other one, the calculator here. So we're going to enter these values into the table. Stat, edit. If you need to clear a list, you go up to L1, you hit clear, hit enter, and everything gets cleared out.
Okay.
5.5, 4.5, 3.5, 8, 7, 5, 6, 4, 3. And hopefully you entered everything correctly. Second, quit, stat, calc, one variable stats using L1. And there we go. Now the mean is again 4.8. That actually shouldn't be a surprise. The standard deviation though is different. Let me snip that in. All right, so let me go to the other screen. Okay, so that mean, that's the same. Now the standard deviation, this is a sample standard deviation, so I think that it wants this second number. So let's try that. Let's try 1.932. If that doesn't work, you can try the other one, the 1.833, if you want. Let me know when you're ready. We can move on to number.
All right, I'm ready.
20. Okay. All right, 20 part A. A bank has kept records of the checking balances of its customers and determined that the average daily balance of its customer is $300 with a standard deviation of 48. Okay, so we've got 300, we've got 48, and a random sample of 144. What is the probability that the sample mean will be more than $296.80? $296.80. We're asking the probability that X is greater than $296.80. The mu in your problem is 300. The standard deviation is 48 and n is 144. I think last time we looked at some problems and I had you determine some of these values here. So to do this, you will be going to the calculator. This is going to be under normal distribution, normal CDF. Normal CDF requires a lower, an upper, a mu, and a sigma.
Okay.
So in your problem, because it's a greater than, that is your lower. 296.8 is your lower. If you don't know your upper, it's 10 to the 99. Your mu is 300, your mean. Sigma, though, in this case is the standard error. So it's 48 divided by the square root of 144.
Okay.
All right. If you don't know the lower, it's minus 10 to the 99. Let's go to the calculator. Let's make sure that it's clear where to get all that. All right. So second distribution. Yeah. So it's under second distribution. And you want that second one there, normal CDF. So you got to put those numbers in 296.8, comma, 10 to the 99, comma, 300, comma, 48 divided by
Got
the
the
square.
answer for that one.
Sorry. No, it's great.
Sorry.
That's great
I
here. You're the one that's gonna have to take the test and get the right answers on it. So good that you can do it here. All right.
Well, without your help, it's different.
Well, you're the one you'd be in the test. That you know, I wish I could be there with you, but they don't allow that. at least not without some things. So let's do part B. We're going to set it up exactly the same. It's another normal CDF here. So let me go over to that screen here. I'll start setting these up, and you can grab them, put them in the calculator. So this is the probability that X is less than 309.
Mhm.
So normal CDF again.
So do you just change the lower?
The lower is now negative 10 to the 99. 309 is the upper. And that's the only
Okay.
change you make to this.
Okay. So what would be the lower again? Sorry.
Negative 10 to the 99. So if you don't know the lower, it's negative 10 to the 99. If you don't know the upper, it's 10 to the 99.
Oh, okay.
X means all the numbers below 309, and that's why 309 is your upper value for that.
Okay, let me try this answer. All right, I got that one right.
Okay, now whenever it's a between, which is the case here in C, you've got both the lower and the upper,
Mhm.
which is nice. You don't have to wonder what am I using? Am I putting it in the right place?
Okay, so then the lower would be
303.
303,
Yeah.
and 309 is the upper.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let me see. That's right. That one's right. Cool.
Okay. Part D, one more. What is the probability that the sample mean will be at least 295? The probability that X is greater than 295. So this is another normal F. 295 is the lower. It's going up to positive infinity, 10 to the 99. 300, and then same thing here, 48 divided by the square root of 144.
Sweet, that one's right. Okay. What does it say? I wonder why it says I only got a 73% on it.
I'm not sure here. I didn't submit anything, so
Yeah. No, I
just
didn't either.
okay.
I could have sworn we got more. We got a lot of pretty much all of them right, except I got one of them wrong on number 7. It doesn't seem right.
It looks like maybe 9. I mean, 19's the big one. It's got 14 submissions
Oh,
there.
okay.
So maybe, maybe take a look at make sure these are in.
Oh,
in
do you
there.
have to get it right to go to the next part?
No,
Oh,
no. But I'll let me click out of that now. So what do you want us to work on next? Or do you want us to look at that one more time? I mean, why don't you make sure you're happy with it before we move
yeah, I'll
on?
just submit it. I mean, 73 is fine.
Oh no, don't you should you should be able to get full mark on that. I mean or the
Oh,
do you want me to pull it up on my screen?
sure, if you want to. It's due at midnight tonight.
Okay, well, that's fine. I think we'll be able to get it here. Let me go back to that. Takes forever to get to the same.
What makes that one difficult?
Which one?
Number 19.
Nothing. I mean, it's just the 14. It's based on like the number of submissions it had. It's not based on difficulty. They just give the same uniform like value to everything. It's
Uh-huh.
kind of unfair because if you don't know how to do one of them, it's the big one. You get a low grade on it. See? Oh, that was that one. My assignments. Oh, this one's past due. Oh no, that was the first one.
Yeah, the number
That
one.
that is weird. Why is it 73.5%? So yeah, so it didn't look like the other ones got submitted here on 19. Which I don't understand. Do you want me to submit the answer?
Yeah, whatever you think.
Okay.
Oh, that's what it was. I didn't submit those.
Okay, now this didn't like this on the left here. Why didn't it like?
Huh.
As a comma separated list. Okay, so you got to put a comma in here. That's why it doesn't like it.
Oh, okay. I could just do that on mine.
It's up to you.
You think that's why they were wrong?
Yeah, it says enter samples as alphabetically ordered, comma separated lists. So it expects a comma in there. You can always try it with one and then see if it works. The way WebAssign works is it only checks, it only counts against you if you change the cell. So
Okay, yeah, they're all right now.
all right.
Sweet. Yeah, 93%.
Yeah.
I was wondering why it was like that. But
All right, where should we go from here? What else would you like to work on
I'd
tonight?
like to work on accounting. I've never really, I had a friend help me with the first assignment.
Okay.
That was last week, but I need
Sure.
some help.
Sure. Let's go. Let's see here. Is that accounting 231?
Yes. Let me see.
Pearson.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What are we looking at here?
Okay. Which ones are due this Monday?
Looks like a homework and a quiz and apply your knowledge each time.
Yeah, those ones. They're due. What's the date on there?
27.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So a couple of things about this. The static ones are copy for copy out of Chegg or other online solutions.
Okay.
It's the dynamic ones that are more difficult because they change the numbers. I don't know. I don't really know why or when they do this or don't do this, but all right, so you may not see the right, you still don't see that. Let me go to new share. There it is. Okay. So you should now be seeing this assignment. Is that look right to you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so there's no math here, and this is where I'm going to be less helpful than say an accounting expert. Full disclosure, I don't know. I don't really know why some of these things work. Like there will be some problems where you have to add and subtract stuff like that, but there's actually not a lot of math in accounting. It's mostly knowing things like what goes on the income statement and which one of these is it and why. And that's where I'm not going to be all that super helpful.
Okay.
So I've got access to lots of things on the internet. I mean, I can help you with this, but let's not pretend like I'm going to be your best resource for you to understand accounting.
That's fine.
Well, let's see what we got here. So this is asking for complete the table below to show what Peoria would report on its 2021 income statement. All right, Peoria accrued salary expenses of 2.3 million, then paid 2.6 million to its employees at the end of the 2021 year. For this sequence of transactions, show what Peoria would report on its income statement. Okay. Do they give you a salary expense? They do. Okay. So they give you a salary expense of 40.8 million and they add to it what they actually paid. All right, so the kind of the way that I like to do this, and we'll see if they allow us to. Yeah, salary payable, and it's this 40.8 plus. I think it's the 2.6. Sorry, really trouble. 2.7. Yeah, so it looks like it's the 40.8 plus the 2.6. So see, the math's not that hard, right? It's you just add those two numbers. That's 43.4. Let's see what your check. Oh, so it's this one here. Okay. So this system, you have to get it completely right or.
Oh, it says I'm not allowed to have two windows open at the same time.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, so you got to be careful there.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I don't know that has anything to do with why this is marked wrong, but is the case here. So do you get 2 attempts? Okay. Another thing to know about these static ones is that because they don't change each time, if you, and this is not the right way to do it, but if you want to go through and click check answer, check answer, check answer, you can re-enter the right answers for the next time around. Like they're not going to change. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is the challenge with it's like, well, I don't know why this one isn't working. I don't know why this answer is wrong. Oh, it's salary expense, not salary payable. That could be a reason. Okay, so it didn't like that. So see, I'm down to the final check here. I mean, this is where, this is not my area of expertise, but let's try it here. 2.3 plus 40.8. Let's go with that one. That's unless I misadded here. No, to get that right. So that's 43.1. 40.8 plus 2.3. Let's final check that. Okay, so it did take that. Lovely. Now, the next one here, what is it asking for? It's asking for complete the table of the show what period would report on its 2020 balance sheet. So on the balance sheet instead of the income statement. So there's something that you're learning that's, that's different about those two. So this is salary payable now instead of salary expense. And it's just what they actually paid, which is 2.7 million. Didn't like that. Okay, why didn't it like that? Oh, except it's the wrong number. It's 2.3 million. All right.
Okay.
Now see how this one's correct?
Yeah.
Totally correct. Very happy. We wouldn't normally do this, but you can. I want you to see this because this will help you with saving you time. Is if you hit try again. Okay. Now you wouldn't normally want to do this, but we're gonna try again.
Okay.
Do you see how it's exactly the same numbers? And
Yeah.
if you don't believe me, I've got a snip of it here. It's exactly the same numbers. That's because it's static. So whenever you see a static problem, you can actually click, put answers in if you want. You just have to save the image before you go to try it again, and you can get the full answer.
Okay.
Okay. That's how you get,
Like if
full
you're
credit.
getting them wrong, just hit try again.
Well, you only can try again one time in
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
So the like I'll show you that in the next one to help like getting through the homework. So we'll go to question 2. We want to save best score. All right. So here, what I'm trying to show you here is like this one, there's a lot going on here, right? There's all these numbers, there's all these entries here, and it's like, where do I even start, right?
Yeah.
If you hit check answer, and you go through every part, you will get the correct answers here. When you try it again, it's going to be the exact same numbers. You can just enter them in to get the right answers,
The full point.
the full points, but you won't really understand it. And that's where I don't know how much time you want to spend on these, but that's how I would do it if I were a student. I would kind of get the full mark and then go back and try to understand it. Why is it? Also keep in mind the tests aren't like these at all.
Yeah.
The tests are other stuff.
So if you just do one part of the question, you can hit check answer.
Right. So is it okay if let me see if
Yeah.
there's one that's less parts. And no. All right, we'll just do it with this one. So if you hit check answer, and final check. Okay, see how it populates the correct answers here?
Uh-huh.
So what I would do, and I'll do this in our notes here, is I'll grab a snip of it and put it in the other screen. Now, just as a safeguard here, just because I'm always fearful of this stuff, I'm going to grab that data table as well and see if make sure there's nothing weird about that's different. But you do the same thing down here. You can click on check answer 3 times and it will populate the answers. Because it's static, it'll be exactly the same numbers the next time around.
Okay.
So if I do this again.
Is Pearson always static?
No.
No.
You'll see dynamic at some point.
Yeah.
That's where it gets harder for these. So you can see here, like, why are these the values? That's what you're trying to learn when you look at these problems, like, why are these the numbers? So I'm snipping this into my other screen. So I've got them. And then same thing here. You
Wow,
can do
there's
this.
a lot of parts.
Yes. Check answer, check answer, final check. And one of the things you're a little bit of a disadvantage here is you're not getting feedback. So some of the ways the Pearson is set up is you can get feedback each time to know if like any of your answers are correct. Here you can chase things like we were doing, like I was off by an entry. I didn't know that. So now, one more time, check, final check answer. Okay, now you got to be careful not to hit try again. You want to let it populate the last little
Oh yeah.
pieces there. I made that mistake before helping students. Then you're like,
Shit.
yeah, exactly. Where they all go? Like, sorry. Okay, so I've grabbed all these and we can now try again. All right. Let me just make sure I've got them all here. 191, 31.5. Current assets. Common stock, things like that. Okay. All right, moment of truth here. You also want to grab this table. I think you can see that. Yes. Like you also want to grab this table just in case anything weird happens where it's not the same. Okay, so we're going to try again. Basically it's saying like you can only do this. So you better be smart about how you do this. Okay. All right. So notice this table up here at the top, this is exactly the same. I'm looking at it on my screen plus your screen. It's exactly the same. Everything else is exactly the same. So this is where you go and you're like, okay, the first entry here is net revenues. Okay, now it's 191,000. Now, why is that? Like that's like if you want to learn this stuff, like this is where you've got to go in and be like, okay, why is it net revenues? Well, it's because it's right there. Okay, but why does net revenues go in an income statement? That's where you've got to, in class, they should be covering that. The next one is cost of goods sold. Why is that? Well, that's here, 136,800, 136,800. All other expenses. So if you go here, there's all other expenses, 29,000.
So did you leave the first one blank on purpose?
No, I did that. Yes, because the solution was left blank. I wouldn't have known. And then the net income is the net income is revenue minus cost minus all other expenses. So there's a formula there that you would want to know. So there's no shortcuts to economics, or I'm sorry, accounting. Here, like there's no like this is a shortcut to get the homework done, but there's no shortcut to like learning this stuff. You gotta kind of dig deep here. And this can give you a false sense that you understand it. It's like, yeah, I got my homework right, but okay, so this is retained earnings from the previous year. Okay, so that is likely in this here. Yeah, 31,500. Add to it net income, which is what you just calculated. And then your retained earnings for the current year is the retained earnings for the current year is the retained earnings from the previous year, adding the net income, 56,700.
Okay.
Now you're getting a good feel for like how you would do this if it was static. If it were dynamic, you'd have to figure out where all the numbers mapped to, and then put them in the new numbers.
Use the formula.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah. So I recommend doing that after you've gotten the grade, but like really, making the time to do that. So cash is there, 50,000. Accounts receivable is also in this chart here. Where's accounts receivable? There's 34,000. Inventories. And that's also hard. It's like, which ones go where? Like, why is it that inventories is part of the balance sheet? That's something you would be getting in class there. That's 36,000. The other current assets, that looks to be also in the table right there, 5,000. Why is that there? Then you total this, total current assets. And see how I kind of indented it? That's because you're going to add these up here. You add them up and you get 125,000. Then property and equipment. That's again probably in here, 19,400. And then other assets, 30,000. Yeah, there. Where is that? Right there, 30,000. Total assets. So you're adding up the. You're adding up. What are you adding up here? You're adding up these last three. Liabilities, total current liabilities. Where is that? Back here, 80,000. Long-term liabilities is also in here. There it is, 11,700. So total liabilities is adding those two together. Stockholders equity starts with common stock. Let's go find that. 26,000. Retained earnings is where is retained earnings? So I think we already calculated that somewhere. There it is. There it is. There's retained earnings, 56,700. So if it's not in the given, it's going to be a calculated value. So total stockholder equity is adding those two together, 82,700. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's that little line there, single line, that's adding those together. This double line is where you add from the, like you're going to add this number, the 91,700, 82,700. So that means something. Like you probably saw that in class somewhere, that this double line means something. So total liabilities and stockholders equity, add those together, 400. Again, I had the snips, so like I don't know why these are true. That's where my help is very limited. I don't know why these are true. There are certain parts of accounting that I'm more helpful at. But you would do essentially the same thing for these other static questions here. So now I'm happy to spend the last 8 minutes doing that. But is there anything else you'd like us to work on today besides this?
No, I think that's all.
Okay.
Um,
All right. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Although if you've got a check account, you can also search for these and you can also get the questions so that you're not having to do this. Like sometimes they are one for one there. Like on July 31st, let me just see if I can.
would I be able, so I have another lesson scheduled with you tomorrow at 2.
Yes.
Would I be able to reschedule that for Monday?
Sure.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
we can do it. Because I was going to tell you, I don't really want to do this. But I mean, I'm happy to show you how to do it one time, but from here, let's have you
just do stats and stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds good. You're more of you like doing math, huh?
Well, I mean, how do I, it's like me, I don't know, showing you how to read a sentence. I mean, you've got to go in and make sense of this because you're the one that's going to get tested on this. How are you going to do that? So I think I've given you a path to like learning how to do the homework, but there's study groups, there's that Those other things. Now, again, there might be some more mathy stuff in here. When you get to the dynamic questions, I think that I'll be a little bit more helpful because you'll want to know where those values go. But
Do you have students that have accounting?
uh,
Or taking-
not really.
No.
Not really. Because you know how to do this now. You know that this is the steps
Yeah.
for this.
Do you have the pictures of the final answers for the last two?
Yeah, I put them in the notes that I'll send to you.
Okay.
Yeah, and
You
you can always,
email the notes to me usually, right?
yes, at the end of the lesson. So this is where, like, if you had a friend and you guys wanted to like work together, you could try to figure it out, and like you could use his for the first attempt and yours for the second, and you could kind of go back and forth
Uh-huh.
on that. Now, sometimes they make you choose answers here, so you can't just final check it.
Mhm.
But now let me grab some of these snips here. I did not grab the
I
question.
got the first one.
Okay,
Or-
great. All right. I'm always worried, but I guess it will be the same. Okay. Let me see. Did I make sure to get everything? Net revenues. So big thing is once you hit try again, all of this evaporates. So really make sure you've got, all of them down where you do that.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is net revenues. And, why is it 191,000? Because somewhere up here, it tells you that. It tells you net revenues are 191,000. And then retained earnings. So this is one thing you will see in this class. The debits have to match the credits. Why didn't that indent? That's sort of interesting. So it's typically the same number on the left and the right in this class. Now for the second one here, it is retained earnings. Okay. So that's but it's for July 31st, not the revenues. Okay. Anyway, 165,800. And this is divided up among the cost of goods sold and all other expenses. So if we were to go to one of these tables here, we would find that those values are there. Cost of goods sold is 136,800. And then the all other expenses, we would find 29,000 there. And if you add up the two credits, it will equal the one debit. Oh, are you taking this class all online?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Why is that?
Could be good, could be bad. The exams are not in Pearson. They're through Canvas. They're not, and a lot of them are on the internet, the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so retained earnings, beginning balance is 31,500. Why is that? Not sure. You can figure that out. There's expenses and then there's revenues. So expenses are the retained earnings, 165,800. And then the expenses are the retained earnings from the other one. And what you're looking at here, you're trying to decide like which is more, because that tells you where to balance this thing. So the ending balance is 31,500 plus the 191,000 less the expenses on the left there, which ends up equaling 56,700. What is not right here? Beginning balance. Oh, this is revenues. I meant that, and I put it in there. Okay. All right, and then this is a definition. Okay, so you mentioned wanting to move your lesson. Let me go ahead and stop here.
Yeah, to Monday.
All right, let me tell you what I've got.